Guys, a demon just spoke through Toni Braxton, and I'm shook.
Okay, I gotta call you back. I'm about to have Bible study.
Why?
Cause I'm saved.
Church. Just my
Holy,
faith.
Because I'm a person that don't go to church.
Why was that?
Because it's important to know the word. How else we gonna battle all these demons and witchcraft? How else you gonna do it?
There are other books.
Girl, get off of my phone, girlfriend. Get off of my phone. I'll call you back.
I mean, that book was written by a racist white
Girl, goodbye, girl. I'll call you.
It looks like Tamar just dropped a straight-up bomb on her own family, and the internet went into full meltdown mode immediately. This wasn't a soft clapback or a shady comment either. She flat out accused her sisters of having sinister plans to pull her into what she believes was cult-like behavior. And the deeper people dig, the darker it starts to feel. Not church, just manipulation. And for context, Tamar has made it clear that she's not someone who regularly goes to church. This story hits differently because we're talking about a family raised deep in the church, a family that built their entire image on gospel roots before exploding into full-blown R&B royalty. But when faith turns into control and sisterhood flips into manipulation, that's when things start to get really uncomfortable. The tension spiked even more when Tamar went live and said she was preparing for a Bible study to protect herself from what she described as witchcraft and demonic forces in her life. Instead of offering support, her sister Toni allegedly fired back with a comment that stunned everyone. She reportedly said there were other books. That book was written by a racist white man. This wasn't some random troll in the comments. This was Toni Braxton, publicly dismissing the Bible while her sister was openly leaning on faith for strength. For a family long branded as church girls, that moment landed like a slap in the face. Fans immediately pulled scripture into the conversation, pointing to 1 Timothy 4 verse 1, which warns about people abandoning their faith and following deceiving spirits. Once that verse entered the chat, the discussion took a much darker turn fast. Tamar even said she was praying for Toni's heart to turn back, reminding everyone that their grandmother was a praying woman. But this is where the story twists even darker, because this wasn't just about one reckless comment online. For months, Tamar has been hinting that she's been fighting something much bigger, forces pulling at her spirit, dragging her toward a world she says she never wanted to be part of. Fans began lining up patterns quickly: the shaved head breakdown on Big Brother, the cryptic butterfly imagery, the one-eye magazine covers, even recurring animal print symbolism. None of this is proven fact, but the speculation is loud and relentless. Viewers compared Tamar's shaved head moment to other celebrities who experience public breakdowns during major career shifts, calling it a turning point rather than simple stress. Others pointed out that butterfly imagery and one-eye visuals have long been tied to mind control rumors online, especially after Tamar admitted she suffered a near-death blackout with no memory of what happened. And this is where the cult talk really heats up. Tamar isn't speaking in metaphors anymore. She's saying there's a real spiritual war happening inside her own family, and she believes her sisters may be standing on the opposite side of it. This was the same lithium Brittany revealed in court, the drug her own family forced on her in massive doses so they could later use her behavior against her and tighten their control. Then things got even scarier. Tamar revealed that she woke up in a pool of her own blood, missing teeth, with zero memory of how it happened. Fans didn't brush that off as a bad night. People immediately started asking whether this was a warning, retaliation, or fallout from speaking too loudly about what she believes is happening behind the scenes. Before diving into her chilling posts and hospital photos, it's important to understand why this cult talk feels impossible to ignore. When you line up the Braxtons' deep religious upbringing, the sudden pushback against faith, and Tamar nearly losing her life out of nowhere, it paints a picture that goes far beyond normal sibling drama. This doesn't feel petty anymore. It feels calculated, cold, and unsettling. So let's slow this down and break it apart piece by piece, because most people still haven't clocked the full story yet. Now let's rewind. Toni's Bible comment didn't come out of nowhere. The Braxtons were raised in a home where church wasn't optional. It was the foundation. Their father preached. Their mother ran the choir. Faith wasn't just tradition. It was the glue that held the family together. So when Tamar went live talking about Bible study as a way to spiritually protect herself, support, or at least silence, would have been expected. Instead, Toni allegedly shut it down with a statement that sent shockwaves across the internet. Not just because of what was said, but because of who said it. This is the same Toni who began her career singing gospel before crossing over into R&B, now publicly dismissing scripture while her sister claims she's fighting witchcraft and spiritual attacks. That contrast alone made people stop and side-eye everything. For fans who grew up watching Braxton family values, this wasn't just sister shade. It felt like a line being drawn in the sand. And when you dig deeper into Toni's own words over the years, that shift starts to make a little too much sense. In her memoir, My Heart, Toni openly admitted that her family went through what she described as religious extremism. She spoke about growing up under strict rules, no pants until a certain age, no movies, no secular music. Church wasn't guidance, it was pressure. She even confessed that she once faked speaking in tongues just to prove she was saved and accepted. That detail alone shows how intense the environment was. Over time, Toni explained that religion stopped feeling like peace and started feeling like guilt, judgment, and emotional suffocation. As she got older, she admitted questioning whether God was punishing her for past choices, especially during painful moments in her life. That internal struggle clearly reshaped how she views faith today. So when you place that history next to her dismissing Tamar's Bible study, it stops looking like a simple disagreement about religion. It starts to look like a control issue. Fans began speculating heavily. Maybe Toni doesn't just disagree spiritually. Maybe she's actively trying to pull Tamar away from her faith. And that's where Tamar's use of the word cult starts ringing louder. Because a cult isn't always robes and rituals. Sometimes it's manipulation, isolating someone, gaslighting them, convincing them their instincts, faith, and inner voice are wrong, so they rely only on the group. Tamar has been hinting that this is exactly what she's dealing with. On one side, she's seeking God and posting scriptures like Proverbs 31 about strength and resilience. On the other, she claims her sisters block her calls, dismiss her prayers, and only show up when cameras are rolling. That contrast alone made fans pause and question what's really happening behind closed doors. She still can't fully explain what occurred, and that missing time has fans side-eyeing her sisters harder than ever. At this point, the story stops feeling like family drama and starts feeling like possible retaliation. On August 19th, Tamar shocked everyone with an Instagram story that read like a cry for help. She revealed she nearly died after being found in a pool of blood, suffering a fractured nose, missing teeth, limited mobility, and most alarming of all, no memory of what happened. In her own words, she said, "I don't even know what happened to me." That wasn't just scary, it felt suspicious. This wasn't Tamar's first encounter with unexplained danger. Back in 2020, she was hospitalized after a suspected overdose and later admitted she felt trapped, broken, and overwhelmed. But this time didn't look like pills or self-destruction. This looked like violence. Broken bones and memory loss don't just happen out of nowhere. Whispers spread quickly when Funky Deneva revealed that Tamar had texted him asking for a dentist's number because she'd lost multiple teeth. That detail alone raised eyebrows. Why reach out for a dentist instead of a doctor unless something happened that someone didn't want publicly documented? Then came another twist. Witnesses claimed Tamar was seen at Atlanta's V12 lounge just hours before the incident, allegedly getting close with a love and hip-hop star. The timelines stopped adding up. The injuries didn't match a simple accident, and the questions kept stacking. Fans in DC and Atlanta began speculating that whatever drama unfolded at the club may have escalated into something darker later that night. Others went further, wondering whether Tamar was being watched or pressured, with alleged family connections quietly pulling strings behind the scenes. Things intensified when Tamar teased that something major was coming, posting a cryptic message that read, "I can't wait until I can tell y'all." That single line sent suspicion through the roof. Some brushed it off as promo, but others felt the timing was far too eerie. And just when it couldn't get messier, a leaked video surfaced showing Chrisian and Rock barging into Tamar's prayer circle backstage, completely disrupting the moment. In the footage, Toni appears to refuse holding hands as the prayer circle struggles to continue. The energy is tense and uncomfortable. Tamar later blasted the leak, calling it disgusting and accusing someone close to her of selling the footage to TMZ. Stack it all together. Tamar's prayer circle gets invaded and exposed. Her Bible study is publicly dismissed by her sister. And not long after, she nearly dies under mysterious circumstances. So now the question stands, do you think Tamar's incident was just bad luck? Do you think this is PR? Or do you believe something dark is happening behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like, subscribe if you haven't already, share this with anyone following the Braxton drama, and stay locked in, because the next time Tamar speaks, it may change everything we thought we knew about the Braxtons and Hollywood itself.